Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. If this channel is helpful for you, make sure you're subscribing to it and hitting the like button. Today, I am going to be talking about alignment, right? And if you're not aligned with God, if you're not in alignment, how it will assassinate your assignment. That is what we're going to be talking about today. And another thing, I will be giving you a short piece of Jonah. He's actually had an assignment, right? But he wasn't aligned. He wasn't aligned. He kept running from God. Also, alignment is very vital for your walk. It's very vital for your life, period. When I drive my girls' car, sometimes it drives a little weird. It'll pull to the left, or sometimes it'll pull to the right. So I ask my girls, do you not see that or do you not feel that your car is driving funny? And a lot of times they say no, right? That is how some of you guys are with your life, with your journey with God. You do not know that you're out of alignment with Him. So then you become frustrated. You move too soon. You become ill, aggravated, or sometimes you even just throw the whole assignment away. Like, God, I'm not doing this. Nothing is working out. Nothing is working out. Alignment is very important. Yes, you can delay your assignment. You could delay the things that God has for you, because timing is everything. I know that people say, what is it? It may be delayed, but not denied. And a lot of time it is us that is delaying our process. It's not always God. We want to blame Him, but yet we moved from the place that He told us to be in. Right? So let's get into it. The 3 A's: alignment, assassination, and assignment. If you're not in alignment, you will assassinate your assignment. And that is true. Been there, done that. Okay? Have you ever felt like things in your life keep falling apart? Not because you're not gifted, not because you're not called, but because something is off. I know we all have had a moment where we're like, God, something just don't feel right. Something is off. I know I had plenty of those moments, especially these last 3 years. I had those moments. You're busy, but not effective. You're moving, but not progressing. You're doing, but not fulfilling purpose. I felt that. I felt like that this year. And last year, I felt like something is off. I'm doing what you're telling me to do, God, but nothing is moving. Nothing is progressing. What did I move, or did I hear you correct? We all have those questions that we do ask God, because sometimes we feel like it's taking too long. And I told God one time, just give me a little glimpse. I just need a break, right? I just need a little break. But here's the truth. A lot of times we're just out of alignment. Like, I may have stopped doing what He told me to work on. And I remember for YouTube, I stopped for 3 years almost, because I just felt like, not what's the point, but I went over to TikTok and did a little there. I just, sometimes when you are doing something and hoping for so long, you can kind of get sidetracked. Not that we don't know that God is working, because we do, but sometimes the wait, it is so long. You have to get back. You have to just ask God, like, help me, because it's I don't know what you're doing, okay? I don't know what you're doing, and it doesn't seem like I'm making any movement. It doesn't seem like I'm progressing, but really and true, internally you are. I went through all those seasons, and I just went through that season as well as, God, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and it just seems like nothing is moving. It seems like everything is falling apart. But oftentimes things have to fall apart in order for it to come together. And that's what we have to remember. But during that time, you also have to keep your faith, because even if, right, either way, He's going to come through. Either way, He's going to come through. So here's the truth. Misalignment doesn't just delay your purpose, it can destroy it. So today I am going to be talking about the 3 A's, which are alignment, assassinate, and assignment. I was going through my boxes yesterday, and I have a lot of notebooks that I write in, and I ran across this one, and I was like, you know what? Let me just give them this, because you may think alignment doesn't mean anything, but alignment is everything. Alignment is everything. Okay, so we're talking about alignment, assassinate, and assignment. Because if you're not in alignment, you will assassinate your assignment. That is true. Now let's read Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, which is the foundational scripture on what I'm talking about. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And always submit to him, and he will make your path straight. And some verses say acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Can two walk together except they be agreed? That is Amos 3 and 3. So you're to keep that, and you are to meditate on that, and you are to understand that, and you are to allow those scriptures work for your life. Now, what is alignment? Getting in position with God. Let's talk about it. I'm giving you a natural definition and also a spiritual definition. Okay. So the natural one says, which I love the natural one too, to bring in proper position or agreement. Now, the spiritual ones say when your thoughts, actions, relationship, and decisions line up with God's will, word, and timing. And I know for me, I always have to, it may not be every day, but every week I always have to say, God, make sure that I'm aligned with you. My words, my thoughts, my decisions are aligned with your thoughts and your decisions, right? Alignment is not about perfection. It's about position. And for me, I had, because I'm not a person that grew up in church, I thought perfection is what God was looking at, but it's not about being perfect, because there's no perfect people, right? So a lot for me, I delayed a lot of things because, for one, I felt like I didn't look the part, I didn't talk the part, I didn't have the right equipment, and still don't, but I'm up here doing what God said to do, right? So it's not about being perfect, it's about being aligned with what God says for you to do. Now, many people can be gifted and still be out of alignment. You can be anointed and still be out of order. You can look at the world the way it is right now. Everybody think Christianity and knowing God is such a popular thing, and those that think that are not walking it totally the correct way, because it's a lot that go into really and truly walking your purpose. Here I am, Lord, use me. It's a lot that goes into it, and mentally it's a lot that goes into it also. Okay, so alignment means your heart matches God's heart. Your decisions reflects God's will. Your direction follows God's voice. And I'm gonna give you an example of Jonah. And if you do not, go back and read Jonah. Jonah was called, but he was not aligned. God said to him to go to Nineveh. Jonah went the opposite direction. So what was the result of that, of him going into a different direction? Storm, delay, and disruption. And that's for us too. Whenever we get out of aligned with what God told us to do, or because you feel like it's taking too long, you want to put your own, you want to do things on your own, you don't want to let go and let God, that also happens to us. We encounter a storm, a delay, and a disruption. Now, when I am aligned with God, you still are going to encounter these things, but I would rather go through a storm with God, go through a delay with God, go through a disruption with God than without. Okay, the problem wasn't the problem was not his assignment, it was his alignment. Get back to the position that God told you to be. If God told you, I need for you to pray day in and day out, I'm just using that example. I need for you to get back and do what God said do. I know it's taken a long time for him to, you know, for him to show you off. I don't know what you're waiting on, but for me, and especially your process, it is long. It's the transformation period. You know, you don't want to just go out there half step, and you want everything that you're doing to be rooted in God, your foundation rooted in God. And some of you guys are waiting on God to do something big, but he also know that when he give you that big thing, how you're going to treat it, how you're going to treat people. You may have that spirit of get back. Look at me now. So he's going to keep you there longer until you get that mess out of you. But I need for you to get back into position, get back aligned with God. We don't talk about alignment a lot. Yes, we talk about sin, this and that and the third, but alignment is vital for your life. Just as well as knowing his voice is vital for your life, so is alignment. Let's move along. Being in the wrong relationships, making decisions based on emotions instead of wisdom, chasing money instead of purpose, ignoring conviction. These are signs of misalignment. I just gave you 4. Those are signs of misalignment. Why do you want to be rich? Why do you want wealth? Your mouth may say, oh, I want it to help people, but God knows your heart. You should never want money for pride or money to show off. You should always ask God, whatever you give me, allow it be for purpose. Allow it to. I just told God the other day, God, like I'm ready to work so I can pay my tithes. Like I never been in a situation that I couldn't pay my tithes. Other than if I'm sick and I don't have a check coming in, or like now. But how many people are out of work right now and you're like, God, just give me a job so I can pay my tithes? Like I miss getting on the phone and going to it. It was a habit and I miss it. So I'm asking God to provide for me so I can at least do that. Right? Okay, let's move along. Assassinate or assassination, killing what God gave you. And a lot of time we do kill what God gave us because we either one, we feel as though it's taking too long. That's going to be the topic, taking too long. Or for 2, you feel like you're not worthy of it, or you feel like you got the wrong person. You can't be asking me to do this, God. I'm just a whatever you are. But I went through that. So that's why I could speak about that. I went through, God, you must be got the wrong person because I'm X, Y, and Z. Or I don't sound like how professional some people sound. I don't sound like that, God. Nor I felt like I didn't look the part. I don't look like a churchy person. No, but I dealt with that for a long time. And there's no look to it. He chose me. This is what it is. I may be able to reach others that some people that other people may not be able to reach. Okay, so let's keep it moving. Assassinate. The natural definition is to destroy or eliminate on purpose. On purpose. Assassination, the spiritual, is when you sabotage, neglect, or destroy what God has placed in your life, your purpose, your calling, opportunities, or growth. How dare you? How dare you? You don't have the right to continue to assassinate that thing that God told you to do. Life will never feel the same, will never be right until you do what God has told you to do. You're going to have storm after storm after storm. It is not until you feel fulfilled that you're walking and doing what God has called you to do, where you will have peace in it. You may have all hell maybe breaking loose around you, but there's peace and you feel fulfilled. It is you that's killing your dream. It is you that's assassinating your dream, not God. Let's stop blaming him or even just blaming Satan for everything. What about you? What about you? You do not need an enemy to destroy your purpose. Misalignment will do it for you. And that's what I'm saying. Misalignment will destroy your purpose for you. It will delay your purpose for you. And whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? That's not my fault. That's not God's fault. It is your fault. Ways we assassinate our assignment. Disobedience. That is number one. Ignoring what God told you to do. Distractions. Entertaining what pulls you off course. Doubt. Questioning what God already confirmed. Delay. Procrastinating purpose. Toxic cycles. Staying where God told you to leave. And I went through all of these. That's how I know. I went through all of these. And I'm still right now going through make the disobedient part, trying to make sure that what he's telling me to do or what I'm supposed to be doing is lining up with him. So I'm combing out my own life. Okay? So just as I give you these things, I'm also giving them to myself, because the word hits me first before I give it to you. I already either dealt with or dealing with these things now. I'm not going to talk or give you something that I don't know anything about. Okay, Samson has strength but no discipline. Read Samson. Read about Samson. He has strength but no discipline. He was assigned to deliver Israel, but misalignment with his desire led to his downfall. And those desires, your desires that are no good, will get you in trouble every time. He didn't lose his calling. He assassinated the effectiveness of it. So it's not all the time that you're not going to just lose something. Maybe you're just not going to be effective in that thing that you're doing. People don't always lose purpose. They lose focus, discipline, and alignment. You don't lose purpose always. You lose your focus, discipline, and alignment. Even go to God, just pray and say, Jesus, help me, refocus me, allow me to be focused on you, Father God. Or God, help me with discipline. I said, God, help me, help you, help me. Alignment. You sabotage opportunities, you burn bridges, you ignore growth, you settle for less. That's not the enemy. That is self-assassination. Assignment. Assignment is what you were created to do. What God created you to do. He formed you. He knows you. He put you here for a purpose and a reason. Like for me, I was in CNA for so long. I'm thinking, okay, well, good. This is my purpose. This is my passion. This is what I was going to do. God said, no, that's not what I created you for. That may be my job, but he created me for a reason. And I'm sitting in what he created me for now as a life coach, trauma. So I'm sitting in who he created me to be. So I'm going to give you the natural definition as well as the spiritual. A task or the natural assignment is a task or responsibility given to someone. The spiritual assignment is a God-given purpose, calling, or mission designed for your life. It's tailored for your life. Just how people go when it's time for a wedding and go to the place and get their clothes tailored to fit them to the T. That is what God does with us with our assignment. It's tailored to fit us. Okay. Your assignment is not random. It is intentional and divine. Where you've been, where have you survived, what you are passionate about, all of it is connected to your assignment. So if I've been through X, Y, and Z from kid up into now, everything that I've been through, is preparing me for my assignment. I dare not have lived experience and not use it. It prepared me for today, right? It prepared me for talking to you guys. Everything. And it wasn't a cakewalk. Many tears, many prayers, many everything. Especially for me, coming from the street and the way that I was raised and grew up and in that atmosphere, now coming to, okay, God called me to do this. So of course for me, I may have felt like, I'm a little worthless, I'm a little this, I'm a little that, and you may be feeling that too, but you're not. Everything that you went through, especially trauma, I don't care if you're selling drugs right now, whatever it is that you went through or going through is preparing you for your assignment. It's preparing you for your assignment. Ephesians 2:10 is my favorite. Well, I got a lot of favorites, but one of my greatest scriptures that I hold dear to, and it says, we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. So in advance, that lets me know, when I was 2 years old, coming out of my mother's womb, he had already prepared who I was. Did he know I was going to have the life that I had? Yes. But all that structured me for where I'm at now. And I thank him for it. I couldn't, if I wasn't mature, I wouldn't be able to say, God, I thank you. I wouldn't be able to say, God, I thank you. Okay. So your assignment requires alignment to sustain it, discipline to protect it, and obedience to fulfill it. You cannot do absolutely nothing without obedience. You can't. You got to have obedience and you got to have discipline. If you're not in alignment, you will assassinate your assignment. Not because you're not called, but because you're not positioned. Position is everything. Signs you are out of alignment: constant confusion, repeated cycles of failure, lack of peace in decisions, ignoring conviction, and feeling stuck despite effort. And that was me. That was me. Anything that I do, I have no reason like not to tell you my testimony or tell you my life. My life is not my own. I am to help others. But if you see yourself in any of those signs you are out of alignment, go back, ask God, help me to get in alignment with you, Father. Help me, and he will help you. So, how to get back? Return to God daily. Return to God daily. Prayer and time in the Word realigns your spirit. Alignment starts with connection. Also, check your circle. When you're connected to, who you connected to affects your direction. Not everyone assigned to your life is assigned to your purpose. You can have people that are assigned to your life, but not assigned to your purpose. But because we are humans and some of us are nurturers and some of us love people, a lot of time we're connected to the wrong people and calling them our assignment when they're not our assignment. You got to learn to ask God, am I supposed to be here with this person? Is this my assignment? That person may not even be your assignment. So you wasted all your oil on somebody that's not your assignment. No, it doesn't. No. You got to learn to ask God everything. I don't care what it is. You met a new friend today, tell God about it. You got a teacher that you feel that's bothering you, tell God about it. You're thinking about a relationship, tell God about it. Obey quickly. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. Move when God speaks. When God says something, you are to move quickly. And I know a lot of times for me, I get stuck, stagnated, and I need clarity after clarity after clarity. But I'm learning not to be that way no more. I'm growing up. I'm learning to move when he say move. Because if I don't, I would delay that. And delayed obedience is still the same as disobedience. Remove distractions. Anything pulling you away from purpose has to go. Okay, yeah, you can remove distractions, but what I find too, I ask God, remove whatever distracted me. But sometimes God will also allow the distractions in your life because you need to work through those distractions. He's not going to remove everything. Some things you got to learn to work through. I still got to do this even though this is here. My daughter had surgery, and for the 3 weeks I had to with the babies and this and that, taking them to school. Yes, it threw me off of my routine, but I still found and made time for God. I still made time to read. I still made time to meditate, whether it's in a car or in my house. But that was a little distraction that threw me off of a routine. But I'm going to make a way. The distractions that's in our life, sometimes you just got to make a way with those right there. Be honest with yourself. Stop blaming others for what you're allowing. Accountability restores alignment. A lot of people do not want to hold themselves accountable for nothing. You are not here by accident. You're not gifted by mistake. You are not called randomly. God knitted you. God made you for whatever it is that he's called you to do. It's not something that you stumbled across. Oops, look. No, God knitted that in you. Your alignment is too important to be destroyed by misalignment. You got to go to God today and get yourself back in alignment with him. You got to. Because what God gave you, you don't want to be the one that to destroy it. Whatever it is that God gave you to do, or speak, or start, or stop, do what he say do. But you got to learn to make a habit and say, God, if I'm not in alignment, realignment me. Because you don't want to be assassinating, if that's a word, your assignment. So if this video you find helpful, or you like it, or better yet, if this video is helpful for you, just make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. But if you already know everything, just send it to somebody that do not know, and make sure that you share it with those guys, because not everybody know why they're stuck. Some people need to get back into alignment and agreement with God. Not everybody know that if I'm out of alignment, I can assassinate my assignment. I understand people with this delayed may not be denied. It may be delayed but not denied. But who's the one delaying it? Get yourself back in alignment. And until next time, have a good one.